is that happening? Hey, welcome to the Death of a Dream podcast. I don't know why our video is so dark lately. We do a video version of this, so if you ever want to see, like, how does this work? Is she reading notes? What's going on? You can check that out. I will say for the past 3 days, for whatever reason, we aren't getting the lighting that we're used to getting. So we're working on that. Let's figure that out at some point. But this is the imperfect practice of the creation of this show, and we kind of just roll with it. So if you're not down with that, do not check out the video. Do not. It's terrible quality right now. I don't understand the lighting on this because the lighting inevitably is all the same. Regardless, we find a way through all of these little bumps and we still are creating and doing this work. So check it out if you want. If you don't want to, because bad video offends you, run away from this work. You should not check. You shouldn't even listen to this podcast if bad work offends you. It's just real. It's just real. I can't put it any other way. I can't produce it any other way because it's just, honestly, just me. That's it. Love it or leave it. Like, actually, if it offends you, please leave. Run away. Run quickly. Okay. Let's go ahead and ground ourselves in our greatness. This is like the practice where we just really love on ourselves. That's really the root of all the work that we do. Self-love, self-care, self-love. That isn't just taking a bath and doing a mask, which this girl is going to probably mask all day long because life. And it's more than that, right? And we're going to dive in further to that in talking about like the alignment piece of that. But in order to get through today, we're going to go ahead and ground ourselves in our greatness. My great thing from this weekend was all of a sudden I'm driving in my car, and my car, when I used to commute about a half hour to 45 minutes, my car used to be my escape where I would just like drown everything out and lose myself in song and lose myself in thought and just like disappear for a little while. No one needed me there. I just had to show up and drive the car. Here for that. 45 minutes, half hour, I'm just by myself. I don't have to think. Thoughts, I can just sing. And my thoughts were constantly something that I was trying to escape because it was nasty up there. We don't want to be there, right? How many of us have that? And this weekend, I had a chance to drive by myself, which rarely happens anymore since I work from home and I'm no longer really driving anywhere alone. My children are always with me or my husband's always with me. And so I got back into that space where I could drive and drown out my thoughts and just go. And all of a sudden I'm like 10 minutes into the drive and I realized that I hadn't turned on the radio at all. That I was sitting in the silence just thinking thoughts and not being overwhelmed by that, which is the complete opposite of how I used to drive. It was like, get in, oh no, quiet, oh no, turn it up, get out of there, don't go there, do not do it. And I'm driving and I get to a stoplight and I'm like, what? Really? We just didn't turn the radio on at all. It just wasn't on. Like, who is this right now? And I began to realize how different my life really is and how different I really am. Over the course of this year, over the course of the last 3 years. And I just start to celebrate myself a little bit. Like, what? And especially because I had been coaching prior to that. And coaching and volleyball was always a place where I showed up and really doubted myself because I always felt like I had a chip on my shoulder and I had something to prove and fill in the blank. And, like I was even combing through my thoughts with that. I was reflecting on the day. I was reflecting on the present moment. I was reflecting on just like how simple and joy, the joy of the moment, whether we did good or bad, like just really being happy in this place and sitting in that moment freely, not trying to think about all of the things that did or didn't go bad, like just freely sitting joyfully in that moment all by myself. And that's not always a gift that I allowed myself to feel. And I think that's the self-love piece. It's like, you don't have to hold joy and happiness hostage from yourself. Like, that's what I say about self-love transcends beyond just taking a moment to grab a coffee. Like, self-love is allowing yourself to fully feel, right? Fully feel present in that moment, which obviously means, right, you're going to fully feel everything from that point. So if something goes devastatingly wrong, you're going to feel the sadness in that moment. But that's okay, because you're going to feel more happiness than you ever would have before too. And it may not always be a complete balance, but I promise you there's goodness promised to you. If you can find that alignment, if you can find presence in those moments, like find yourself there. Right there. Value and appreciate that day, that moment in time, that drive, right? Like, here I am, like, oh my gosh, I'm driving a car. I'm by myself. Oh, this is so beautiful and so yummy. Like, what a yummy experience. And I didn't even notice that I was missing something, that I was missing music, that I was missing like the drowned out moment that I used to appreciate about that experience more than anything. And that, I think, that's my great thing. Just like growth. And that does not just happen. That does not just happen. I want to stress that. You cannot fake your way there. You have to deal with all of the thoughts that come across your mind. Tricking yourself out of thinking that you don't think those thoughts anymore doesn't work either. Like, it is a deeper exception and understanding of how thought and ideas flow in and out of your mind all day long. And if you can consciously grab onto them, if you can be conscious about those thoughts, whatever they are, good, bad, otherwise, if you can hold on to them consciously, you can get closer. But no, you cannot fake it. You cannot go one leg in and just pretend, like, okay, I'm sharing these things on Facebook, so I have arrived to my holy understanding of self. Like, trust this right here. You're listening to someone who did that for a lot of years. Okay, you have to go in, discover, keep going till you find it. Keep going till you can sit with those thoughts fully, even unawareingly sit. And you'll get there, right? Just start appreciating yourself and what you're bringing to this world. Start recognizing yourself for your greatness, because for goodness sake, right? And then continue committing to that growth, that love, that place that you get to. Okay, do your great thing. I'm just saying, like, hey, I sat in a car this weekend in silence. Is there a greater thing that could exist in this world for me? No. Did I do other great things? Absolutely. But that one struck me. Those moments where they kind of like take your breath away and you're going, oh my gosh, what? Was that me? That was me in my car. And that's why it's my great thing today. Okay, so recognize yourself for your great thing. It does not have to be anything crazy. You experience greatness in every day. You just probably aren't assigning it yet. Sorry, you're amazing. I won't let you leave this podcast until you think that. Got it? Believe it to your core. There's greatness in every single one of us. Okay. Today we're talking about dreams. And for me, I allowed myself to dream. Like I could visualize what I wanted to become. And for the longest time, my actions did not align with that. And the crazier thing is, now I'm getting so much closer to what I envisioned for myself. And I'm actually doing less of those things than I was when I was trying to like fake my way there. And okay. So I sort of always thought that I would be this like yogi who really just like loved the earth and like holistic and energy clean vehicles. And even when I met my husband, I loved the fact that he was so aware of the environment. He went to school for environmental studies, which I would not recommend as a degree. Actually, I would recommend it as a degree. I don't know. I don't know where that love went. I don't know. Maybe I'll ask that today. Okay. But I like had this pretty clear vision of who I wanted to be. That was no question. Now, once I got let loose into this world, hello, I have arrived. I am adult. I am going to adult. This is going to be great. Let's go. Once I arrived as that person, I'm like, oh, no. Oh. Right? And like instantly, I'm told things like all of us are. You enter the world, someone kind of wraps their arm around you and they're like, it's cute that you think you have a say. You're so adorable with your little teeny tiny undeveloped mind. You're not a real adult until you have, basically experienced the hell that all of us do. It's not really up to you. The world sucks. But welcome. We're so happy you're here. It is meant to be miserable. And through that misery, we find friendships that are also miserable. And that's the only way to survive. And hopefully we get to go on a couple vacations. And yay, let's go. You know what? Welcome. Okay. And then I just start to throw off this idea of what I thought I wanted to be, right? And then I was just like, I don't see those people around here. And so maybe it just isn't possible here, but it's possible in other places, which is, I think, really why Jordan and I looked at moving for such a long time, because the vision of oh, great. Now our video has gone completely black. Hey, hang out. I'm telling you, we're not great at this thing yet. Even though I do it every day. This is madness. Okay. Start being a professional, please, at some point. Sorry if you're not on the video feed, you wouldn't know what's going on. The lights just went out, which made our video even darker, which the video is already dark, so it's not helping any of us. Okay. We're back. So I had this vision, but was like abruptly halted at the door of like, you can't really be that person. That's cool. You want to do yoga. You want to like love the world, but electric cars are expensive. You probably can't afford those. You're just starting out. You can't just like be a hippie, essentially. That isn't something we all do. So then I just, again, interrupt what I wanted my vision of my life to be and start to apply what was accepted for me, for the people that I was surrounded by, for the voices that I was looking up to at that point to kind of guide me with how you're supposed to adult, right? And so then I began to table those things. And then it started to look like me almost coming up against those dreams. Like, you can't do that. You're not rich enough to go to a yoga class. You're not, you can't. Yoga isn't even an exercise. You can't just love the earth. Why would you even drive an electric car? Gross. You can't do that. You'll never be able to afford that. You realize an electric car. You want an electric car? Really? Where are you going to put car seats if you have kids? Oh, yeah, you're so cool with your electric car and your yoga. Oh, cool. Like, right? And then I become my own worst enemy, as if I needed help, right? Like, come on. Really, Hannah, you need to help all the haters out? Yes, they don't have enough. You know what? Add yourself. Add yourself into that mix. Let's all hate on you, girl. Girl, right? And because I was joining them, I start to become extremely out of line with who I wanted to be, and almost blatantly out of line. Like, bought an SUV. Come on, bought an SUV, right? Because then I'm just like, well, okay, you're right. Let's go ahead and align with what other people do or what they're about, because my opinion really doesn't matter. And I had been taught that from the age of 7, right? Like, well, you're not really in the class bracket to go ahead and make those decisions for your life. So why don't you just come on down? Okay, come down off of that horse where you believe that you make anything happen in your life and just accept, right? Just move through life. Don't make it so difficult. And I do think about that from time to time. Like, are you really just overcomplicating this whole thing? Can't you just read a book, which I'm certain most people want for me at this point? Like, can you just not get on a podcast or on a live? Like, can you just cool it? Okay, people are talking. Talk. Go for it. Like, I have talked myself out of my life for long enough. These are the things that I want. These are the things that I want to do. This is closer to the person that I want to be. And if that is not your vision for your own life, that's fine. But I took too much of my life up with me talking myself out of the person that I wanted to be. And I think it was easier for me to say, oh yeah, it just can't be for you because, you know, all the things, right? Oh, because you would never have enough money to be that, because you can't, like, you're going to do yoga. You've had 200 knee surgeries. I don't know if you're aware, but like mobility is super important. And when you get down into like crouching and lunging and doing all of those things, you know, the fact that you can't bend your knee really past 90 degrees is probably going to make that impossible for you. So, right, and then add onto that list, what does it look like? And those all seem like really small, minute things, right? Like, oh, Hannah, you envision yourself just kind of being this hippy dippy. That is not a term that I would use to describe it, but that is a term that most people do. So I guess I'm just following suit at this point. You know, but I think really more than anything, the movement isn't even about the things, right? Like, it's about the love for me. And I don't remember when I declared it, but it's just like, I want people to experience love, and not just like love from me or love from a person, love from themselves. And loving yourself looks like loving enough of what you envision for your life to do it. Like, do it and don't apologize, right? Hey, I really want to do yoga. And I think when the temperatures warm up, Maybe I will experiment with running again. Maybe I want to try that out again. Maybe I want to do both, yoga and running. I don't know. And I don't know what my body is capable of handling, but that's what it looks like for me, right? That's what aligning with the actions look like for me. And instead of talking myself out of those actions, I'm talking myself into those actions. And that's a practice of self-love, self-worth, right? Instead of talking myself out of finishing cleaning my house because, I want to avoid that next level, finding worth there, finding worth in having a clean, energy aligned space, finding worth in me putting time into that, time and alignment and effort into that so that I can get to that next level. And I don't know, I had always known that there was this higher spiritual side that I wanted to experience and find. And trust me, you don't find, it finds you when it's supposed to. Trust. And if you have experienced that, you'll know what I'm talking about. I'm not really worried. But I knew that I wanted to be that side. I knew that I wanted to do yoga. I knew that I wanted to run and start my own companies, which hey, we're starting. We are developing, me. I am developing the first company that I will open, and the first of many. I know that I was sitting in spaces talking myself out of being that person. And that looked like a lot of self-hate, right? Retelling those stories, retelling all the times that I messed up. And what I began to realize is all of those mess ups, right? Just taught me all the things that I need to know to have gotten to this point. And do not sit there and denounce whatever path you're on, because most of wherever we're placed really is built to put us in that next phase. And so find love right where you are. Find what you need from that experience and grow there too. And begin to build where you want to go. And love yourself enough to know that there is some reason you are still here. There is something to learn here, and go ahead and start looking for those things. When I was at my last job, my previous job was basically building companies, analyzing what was going to be successful and what wasn't, and looking at stats and data and how valuable will that be as I begin to build my own companies, having that skill set. And even though, if you look at that experience as a whole, you could chalk it up to failed, basically almost got fired, fail, right? Which I didn't help myself out at all, right? And you could definitely mark that fail checkbox. Or you could look at it as perfectly planning and preparing for me to walk into this new season of alignment and beauty. And we couldn't have gotten there had we not taken those missteps. Had we not, right? Had I not had all of that pain and struggle from, someone telling me that I couldn't live my own dreams, me having this failure moment where I'm just okay, I would do this. This is the safest version that I could dream up for myself. And because I had kind of committed to that safer version, it was too small for me. It just wasn't ever going to be enough. And I got there extremely quickly, right? Because hey, the world aligns with whatever vibration you put out there. And so I claimed that space knowingly. I was well, this isn't what I would imagine for my life, but if I was settling right here in this moment, this is what it would be. And boom, 5 years later, there it was, just served up on a platter, the entire thing. Every single dream happened right at the same time. Okay, you want to be a head coach of a volleyball team? Well, okay. You want to work in PR at a hospital? Well, okay, there you go. Right? And then I'm just sitting there going, okay, well, I guess that was easier. I just kind of thought I'd work on that for the rest of my life. No, that's not going to happen. Okay. Dream bigger? Yup, dream bigger. And then I begin to realize that I don't want to get it wrong again, that I don't want to go too small, that I don't want to accomplish it in another 2 years and have to start over. So we're going to have to go bigger. And even more importantly, I begin to realize how effective, how wildly, insanely effective knowing where I wanted to go was. Right? And I work with a student. I volunteer and help with a student mentor program. And that's what I want them to know. Like, don't go too small right here, right? Because you're going to be surrounded by people who probably think smaller, who want to protect you, who want to save you from that hurt, but don't do it. Don't, because what happens? What happens on the other side, right? What if you go and you dream big and crazy and you don't get there, but that's still your goal? You still figure out a way to make it happen, right? Like, you get back up. That's your focal point. And you go again until you get there, right? And even, the only goal that I had set for my life was this goal of being a Division I athlete and the goal of winning a state title. And when I was in high school, I realized that that's not going to happen for me, right? I'm not going to win a state title. And I still figured out how to do it, right? And I've gotten to help other people in some way. I will not say that I am the direct pipeline, but help athletes become Division I athletes. Not probably in the skills side, but maybe in the mentality side, and what it takes mentally to be an athlete at that caliber, right? And it's all about getting up again and making sure that you're setting your sights on something that is meant for you, not closing your eyes and being like, well, I can't see an exact path to being a well-balanced spiritual yogi who drives electric cars. I can't really see that path from right where I am today, so it probably isn't meant for me. No. Close your eyes. Dream big, like big, ballsy, ball dreams. Like the biggest thing you could imagine for your life, because if you can close your eyes and see it, then it's meant for you. You would not be able to see it if it wasn't possible for you. And I know that seems like such a far-stretched thing to be saying to you right now, right? And you're probably going, okay, I'm going to take out the headphones. This beep has gone crazy. But I am telling you, it would not be put there if it was not possible for you. You don't just dream up silly Sally things. You dream up things that you want, and you have a right to go get those things. You have a right, and I don't care who is telling you that you don't. They are wrong. And stop talking to, just don't talk to them. Not as much. Do not give them your energy. Take it back. Take it all the way back, because you are going to need it as you continue to pursue what this life looks like for you. How aligned is your life with the person you see yourself becoming, and do not protect yourself from being her already? What can you already do that's a step in that direction? Can you buy a $2,000 Prius? Right? Give yourself the things that you can to be as close to alignment with that person as you can be right now. And allow yourself to just continue leveling up, and it's okay to love yourself right where you're at. I want you to be happy right in this present moment. And start to take a path to alignment with the person you see yourself being. As always, you're smart, you're strong, you're beautiful. What are you going to do? Change the world.